I hope you'll be able to hear it now in a little bit. It seems like it undefaulted my Yeti speakers for some reason. This should be working now. We'll have to give it a minute for it to catch up to stream. Okay, so back to the draft. We got, I know I missed a lot here. Dragonshire, some like it hot. Picking up the Hawk on the first pick of always strong with having the globals. He can usually win the lane, but might not win the actual point. But it doesn't matter back and forth. He can, if he gets there, gets the ganks on the bot lane, he can actually just walk up to top lane fast enough. The better than yesterday picks up the Greymane Uther first. Always a strong combo. Greymane can pretty much fit in every comp. Same with Uther. Greymane's got the Cursed Bullet. Uther's got the stuns. You got Divine Shield if you go that way, or the double stun. And smartly, better than yesterday, ban out their Ariel, seeing the Vala and the Tassadar already on the other team. But I think since some like Hot's already picked Vala and Tassadar, they don't really care which healer they get. I hope you'll be able to hear it now in a little bit. And then, so they don't really care the second healer. I mean, they already have the Tassadar that kind of feeds off the Vala. They don't need the Ariel. Honestly, Rhaegar will do fine. Stukov is still available. And it's going to be in their last two picks. The better than yesterday decides to ban out Malthael. They don't want to deal with that percent damage and the fact of how survival he is. Which leaves open a new Barak for better than yesterday. This is really throwing me off. These teams are swapped up to make sure we fix it next time. And picking the Sonya. I honestly am a huge fan of Sonya. I think she's just completely undervalued in most teams if somebody can play her. Even if there's a lot of stuns, I think Sonya can still last a while if she can time her whirlwind correctly. If depending on the skill level of the Dahaka and the Sonya should win that lane, because usually for Dahaka to get a tongue, then that means he's not in his own wave, which means he's not clearing the wave, which means Sonya's winning the wave. And then once Dahaka tries to clear the wave, Sonya can just melee the Dahaka a bunch. And then when they're on the actual point, Sonya should be able to beat Dahaka as well. So I think Sonya should win top lane, in my opinion. And again, this definitely comes down to skill level of either players. It can very well go even, or it can very well go the other way. Just in my experience, I usually see Sonya winning. So Some Like It Hot's on the left is looking to pick probably their other main tank and deciding on what secondary healer they want. Decide on the Brightwing for more global and the Muradin. Given some stun lock, he can get in and out. He can make use of the Brightwing teleport. And they have the double global, which is so powerful on Dragonshire. I think a lot of people sleep on the global on Dragonshire. Or not a lot of people. I think everybody knows global is powerful, but just not how powerful it is. Because even like when you start losing, let's say you start losing your shrine by a little bit, then you can still delay them taking the double shrine and the dragon enough to where it allows your team to get back up. And that's just, it's really strong. Better than yesterday, BTY rounding their team out with the Kael'thas, giving them some extra damage, some range damage. So going with the double range, double front line, single healer. You know, just the typical standard comp that we've seen in the meta for a long time until this kind of double healer meta kind of showed up. But all right, that's the team. We got Some Like It Hots on the left, better than yesterday on the right. You guys in chat, let me know what you guys think of the draft. See what teams you guys can kind of take a vote in chat to cheer on which team you think is going to do it better. Try not to keep your team biases out of the way. I see a lot of already go BTYs in the chat, so obviously there's going to be some team bias there. But see what your honest opinion on the draft is. My dog is trying to play with me right now, so apologies if you hear any squeaks in the background. All right. I don't know. So, in my opinion, I think like the Kael'thas could be really strong. A new Brack is really good against double heals because you can still get the web wrap on somebody. And Tassar's not, like, if you web wrap Brightwing, Tassar's not that strong of a solo healer to kind of keep people alive. So I could see that being really powerful. So getting right into the beginning, we got Some Like It Hots on the left blue team. We got Waterboy TKD on the Dahaka, Smithel on the Brightwing, Clyde on the Vala, Blaze on the Tassadar, and Crusher 99 on the Muradin, trying to take that Blizzard commercial. On the right side, better than yesterday, we got Masterfish on the Nubarak, Eric on the Uther, Zombie Chris on the Sonya, Murad on the Greymane, and Grizzly Adams on the KT. KT is not going for Flame Strike stacks. He's expecting to say, hey, I want to risk dying and not being able to provide for my team with the damage, so ends up going with the gloves, knowing that this is a rotation map, expecting to get a lot of gloves back and forth. Making some initial good use of the Tassadar vision, being able to make sure that Nubarak's not going to sneak up on anybody on those bushes, but everybody knows people goes in those bushes. I expect the Haka to kind of get this first minion wave here and then burrow top, or just walk top, honestly. I kind of like a neat little white, I didn't know if he was leaping just to get away from the chain bombs, or if he was leaping to, he was just scared of damage. But so Nubarak, between these rotations, they both have pretty much the same amount of rotations. Tassadar's got Lightning, Brightwing's got that, Follow's got multi-shot. But on this side, you have KT and Greymane Cocktail. But it seems like since so far, Some Like It Hot is a little bit faster, they're getting the initial wave clear first, and that can make a difference. But the thing with this map, and which always makes it fun, which makes it different from Infernal Shrines, what makes it different from Tomb of the Spider Queen, is that your rotation now you have to change completely because of these shrines. So now you have to fight over these bot lanes, and like I assumed, so Sonya is winning the top lane easily, not even scared of those towers. Actually, wasn't even scared to get that tongue at the end there. Didn't walk away ahead of time, knowing that she can just body Dahaka, and I expect to see that the whole time. Luckily, Dahaka, when he doesn't die, he can just hurt and burrow back, and we'll be back in time. Forcing this rotation out of... I'm surprised Murden actually came up here, because Dahaka, like, he's already back in. I guess they just wanted to take the point, since they knew they weren't going to win the point there, to make sure that they didn't have to focus on defending this middle shrine. Looks like Some Like better than yesterday, still going with the rotation a little bit. Make sure that they don't lose out on too much. Knowing that they have bottom. Right now, see, this is where you're kind of stuck. So they try to rotate, but they can't really go back now, because now both people will control... Some Like It Hot to control the shrine, so they kind of are like forced to stay in this middle section while they defend and try to take this other one. Granted, they will end up getting it, because it's hard to take the dragon without somebody dead on the team. But it's just one of those things that it just throws off your rotation, it throws off what your idea of the map completely, and that's what makes Dragonshire fun, in my opinion. Seeing full cocktail from Greymane, as expected. We're actually seeing Holy Fire from the Uther, expecting to get into the mid lane, into the auto attack range a lot more. Sonya is continually to body Dahaka, forcing him to burrow out. He's just not going to be able to win any type of lanes. Ooh. So far, I mean, you're seeing... I think I like this kind of play out of better than Some Like It Hots. They have the double heals. They can sustain in both lanes without any problem. The Brightwing Murden had like probably the best sustain in the game. And then the volley here with the Tassadar is just bodying them, these two in lane, since they don't have a healer. And this is one of the downsides. They're playing this, Some Like It Hots is playing this really well to make sure that they're taking advantage of their double heals, getting a healer in both lane. Sonya once again forcing Dahaka out. And because of this, BTY ends up committing 4 people to the bot lane to make sure that they can grab the shrine. They're pulling into this Brightwing, missed the Nubarak dash, Masterfish, but Iron Murden just doesn't care. Valen taking a lot of damage from that Flame Strike. Ooh, is that going to kill her? Oh my gosh, so close. She got so low. Brightwing now teleporting to the top to help Dahaka make sure that he can grab that shrine. Like, so far they are losing both top and bottom unless they commit an over amount of people to it. Now the levels are exactly the same, so you're not seeing too much of an advantage out of Some Like It Hots for it. Nice Tassadar E to get out away from the stuns. Crusher is actually going to run out of mana. This Murden's biggest problem is that, yeah, he can stay alive for so long, but because you can stay alive for so long, you almost never go back for mana, and that timing that is pretty hard. So I want to kind of watch this fight, but I know all the action is down here. We're just going to pay attention to Dahaka's health up here and Sonya health. You see right now Dahaka's kind of winning. They're trying to come into a fight in here. Now Murden's finally going back for mana. Yep, and there goes Sonya. She ends up winning. Now trying to make sure they can get some type of rotation to stop anybody from hitting the mid lane. They honestly, both teams haven't really been soaking the mid lane at all, but since Some Like It Hot's pushed into the mid lane first, they have been able to get the towers down, which means that their minion wave usually wins as long as one person attacks. So we're getting a little bit of engagement here, just kind of a poke. Greymane does have his cocktails up to 3 now. Val is actually going full auto attack, which is surprising against the kind of squishy team from the other team. I mean, I guess she's expecting that she's not going to get much value out of multi-shot or Hungering Arrow because of a new Barak shields. But the auto attack, oh, with the 2 people gank up here, I mean, they must have baited out with the Dahaka since he was so low. And with that kill, they're actually going to be pretty aggressive here and might be able to actually pull out a dragon. Only about a half level lead. Both teams kind of trading forts right now. Trading walls, rather. Brightwing coming in with the bribe. The aggressive bribe, but she has Burrow to get... not Burrow, the teleport to get out phase shift. Sonya's just now getting back in the lane. And this is going to give them some pressure. So now they guys say, who do we send to actually kill these giants? And which game means if we have somebody on giants, we're going to lose this 4v4, which means they have the dragon available. Dahaka's not in lane right now. He probably wants to be burrowing. Ooh, I like it. The burrowing right into the mid to sneak the dragon. First dragon of the game with level 10. This could be detrimental. Having the dragon, the gate down, already down. They decide to go for bottom. We're getting a little bit more experience. They have level 10. I would like to see them punish this level 10 advantage, knowing that, you know, if somebody jumps into them, that they can just be aggressive. Now, granted, double healer comps are never that aggressive. You just kind of out-sustain them. So you're not going to be able to, on a map that requires a vehicle, you're losing out of one of your players, and you're just not going to be able to be as aggressive as you would like. Opted for just getting some experience, free experience on the tower. Other team has 10 now. We do see a Divine Shield for the Greymane, Curse Bullet, Web Wrap. Ooh, Muradin actually killing out the Sonya. My apologies for missing that as well. But I'm surprised Sonya would lose to that Muradin. Seeing the dragon trying to get in there, trying to do some damage. Right now, just poking with the fire as much as possible. We've got 3 seconds left. There is a Dahaka in this. Tassar and the cocktail getting so low. The Nubarak almost wants to dive into this just to try to get that. But a little bit of mistiming on their ultimates there, using the Emerald Wind and the Rain of Vengeance at the same time. And now, with the first dragon done, let's just go to the PvE game. The dragon did net them a level lead, so that means they will hit level 13 first, which hopefully they'll be able to also take advantage of. Let's see what Dahaka is at. 5 stacks of his Brush Stalker, so he's pretty fast. I mean, with the double heals, with the Brightwing taking Emerald Wind, with the Vala and with the Task Shields, I'd like to see the Vala being a lot more aggressive. Being able, the only thing I don't like about auto attack build is that, yeah, you create some extra basic attack damage, but you don't get much more burst. It helps with the shield generation with the shield auto attack healing on yourself, but other than that, like, you're not scared of the Hungry Arrow, you're not scared of the multi-shot, and Muradin should have leave any time now. Almost kind of baited them into it since he has the Avatar. Sonya's getting solo. What a good wall. Tassadar actually finishes him out with the laser beam. And that was such a good wall to stop Sonya from easily escaping. Sonya's actually been picked off a lot here. Looking at the hero damage, we got top of one team is Greymane, only barely beating out KT. Actually, only barely beating out Sonya. The other team, obviously, the Vala. But it's actually interesting to see, like, the damage out of BTY is so much higher than the total damage out of Some Like It Hots, and yet Some Like It Hots is easily winning, which kind of shows the power of the double healer. Yeah, you can put out a bunch of damage, but if it's not meaningful damage, we don't care. Greymane's almost done with his cocktail, which means he'll be poking out a lot more damage. Trying to find the death screen.
Free the
Sonya's
Dragon Knight
3 deaths.
and slaughter your enemies.
Oh, nice stun, but the wall, Divine Shield trying to save KT as much as possible. They're still going to look for him, but he's going to be able to walk away with that Divine Shield. And that's using a lot of ultimates for a very quick Tassadar wall. A new Breck might be looking for the punish. They can still come back in with the KT. Follow with getting rib wrapped. They're looking. They give up the dragon to try to steal this kill, and it's actually not going to play out for them, and that feels real bad. Level 13 talent advantage with a free dragon. This time with the Brightwing in it, actually, since they already have the Tassadar. Dehaka is still trying to deal with this Sonya up top. For like one-on-one, the Dehaka is just not working, but actually this time she's getting pretty low. Dehaka did go. Actually went with the Primal Storm to make them make the rest of his team do more damage on the people that he's on W. Keeping the new Breck out for a little bit. Getting Cocktail doing a bunch of damage. But with like the Tassadar shields, usually you can auto attack and get full health again. But they're just making sure that they can keep their experience lead. So they're playing for the late game to make sure that they can stay ahead to get that late game dragon. Cursed bullet coming out. Almost didn't land. Almost landed the stun on the Valo, which probably would have netted them a kill. With the Brightwing. Now we should be saving the stuns for Brightwing's trying to teleport. If we have the rest of the team, now there you go. There's the stun, there's the next stun, and Brightwing should be dead.
Hero slain.
And with that, the rest of the team, the Brightwing just didn't pay too much attention to the dragon health, wasn't able to run away fast enough. And now we go back to the PvE game. I like this invade. They have 20 seconds on Brightwing. All 5 members are here. The Hawkeye can burrow in at any time. But right now they don't really care. Web wrapped the other healer who's left. But the funnel there, Valo with the Rain of Vengeance is able to get so much stuns there. They end up stealing the camp. So, I mean, it was worth it for them. They didn't lose anything. They just basically forced them to not have a camp to deal with. All quests are done besides Tassadar auto attack. No, we got a little bit more on the regen for both teams. Is regen the new go-to for a new Breck? I guess it is. The nerf to his new Rubin shield is pretty big. Seeing both teams, once again, taking mercs. Not much else to do. Brightwing has the phase shift, so she can either burp if she wants to. Dehaka getting out of position here. Has the... Oh, just barely had a sliver left of that adaptation, and they would have healed him back to full. Granted, he probably still would have died because there was 5 members there. But... And not a terrible time to die, honestly, since you have 20 seconds on the shrine, the dragon, and you still have, you know, the exact same time, and you have an instant back in the fight with the burrow. So, Brush Stalker. So it's not a huge loss. They actually kind of stopped on their knights to go get that gank on Dehaka, which is a good game sense play.
The dragon awaits, heroes. Free him and destroy your enemy.
Muradin's looking scared. Has the jump. Got interrupted. Cursed bullet hits and a lot of damage following up. And now BTY is looking scary with the combos that they're hitting. They're making sure that, you know, whoever they go on, when they're stacking as 5, they're threatening. But so far, the macro skills of Some Like It Hots is superior. They're putting more mat pressure, keeping BTY out of that 5 stack. Getting another engagement here, kind of good. Kind of a wing got interrupted. Another cursed bullet jump on with the Sonya, and that's a dead Brightwing. These staggered deaths are not doing any favors for Some Like It Hots. With level 16 finally hit, or finally taken for 2 teams, these 2 teams that Uther has just been holding on it. I guess he doesn't know if he wants Benediction or not. I don't know how that's a decision. Alpha Killer from Greymane, right choice. Oh my god, that cocktail damage. Took out half of Tassadar's health, along with the explosion. And that's the first dragon for BTY. Now there's still a lot of structure to go through, and there's still a lot of game left. But once you start getting to the later and later dragons, they start becoming scarier and scarier. And they can easily take forwards and keeps by themselves. KT, I mean, is just doing work to this Tassadar. The amount of poke the actual AoE poke, which I think is the bigger deal between the Brightwing and the Tastar. Like, Brightwing has pretty good, decent AoE healing, but it's not quick. So you can see them just getting slowly poked down between the Chain Bomb. Anub'arak is diving onto the Dahaka, and he barely gets his adaptation off. Burden's got a full heal. He probably still has a jump off, but they're trying to stun him in time so he can't jump, and still gets away. Double healer is still playing its role. Oh, but he wasn't able to get past the wall, but is still able to walk away and tap below. During all that, nobody died. Double healers. Ooh, good. It was a good cleanse and a good dodge on both teams. Cursed Bullet comes out, jumping on the Murden once again. Divine Shield on the Greymane, making sure he can stay in there, getting the kill on Murden. Brightwing barely dies, but now they're looking for the. Ooh, they were about to go on the Bala, but they decided to change onto the Dahaka. I feel like the Bala probably would have been the easier kill there. And with that, so now, I mean, the early game was definitely in favor of Some Like It Hots, but better than yesterday is they're pulling ahead in these ganks and these individual team kills. That's, I mean, Cursed Bullet is just too strong. The fact that your ability to just focus one target and blow it up immediately is, it's so easy. Just, oh, here's one ability that takes 40% of your health. Like, what do you do about that? Epicenter still taken from Anub'arak. We're getting Manticore, trying to burst down some of those tank frontliners. We actually saw full Oracle build out of the Tastar, which I think is pretty interesting. Trying to whittle them down with auto attacks. Looking at their damage now, we got Violet is now caught up to the KT and the Greymane, but still only one damage dealer versus the other two. And the Greymane Cocktails is just doing work. Sonya misses her spear. New Web Wrap comes out, which is the Tassadar. Sonya's way in the back line, but she doesn't really care about forts. Jumping on the Brightwing after the Greymane knows he has a Brightwing here. There's no blink. With that Emerald Wind being used so early, he knew right away that he was able to just jump onto that Brightwing with no punishment. Dahaka kind of a little slow to the party there. And now they have double Mercs. Pushing with the 5-stack with no Brightwing. 40 seconds on the next skill. Poison Spear, KT, Cursed Bullet. Doing so much. And that's actually one thing to note here. All of the ultimates for BTY are much shorter than Some Like It Hots. Like, Emerald Wind's pretty long. I mean, Rain of Vengeance is short. Forest Wall is short. Avatar is not that short. Here's some power of the globals. We have one global going tops, making sure that Sonya has to fight. But Some Like It Hots is not level 20 yet, and that's what they're going to be looking for in the next little bit before they can do the dragon. They're kind of just want to delay as much as possible. We have the Brightwing global coming up to stop the Sonya. Should have tongue. Looking for it. Didn't want to bait out too much far. Probably a good call. And we're going to see the 5-man rotate up to the top lane, trying to get a gank here. They have all 5. Murden doesn't see them, but we see jumping on the Murden. There's one. Murden leaps out. Both teams just delaying. Some Like It Hots just now gets the level 20 stack. Let's see what talents they're taking. We got the Storm Shield from the Brightwing. It's going to help a lot with the burst ability of the counter burst from BTY. Nice wall. Anub'arak should still have Burrow, but actually gets double stunned. Nice Divine Shield to get him out. But that is a Divine Shield. That means a Divine Shield that's not for your Greymane. The long range Force Wall, and it's a shorter cooldown, so he's going to be using that all the time. Everybody's going to be paying real close attention to being caught out. Another great cleanse with the Burrow out. But now they're so split, they don't know who to go on. They still have Emerald Wind. They can still split the team a lot. Looking for the Sonya, looking for the Vala. I think they get it. And KT is not going to be punished for it. Barely gets out of the way with the tongue. And Sonya with the Hardened Shield is like, hey, you guys can't kill me now, so I don't care. I'm just going to sit here. Especially with that Poison Spear damage. And honestly, she's just like, look at me. I'm just going to sit here the whole time. She gets stunned. She still doesn't care. And the Web Wrap coming off a cooldown already. And that's going to be what, the Murden? No, that's the Tastar, and Tastar should have E out of it. But Sonya, like, this is why I think Sonya's so strong. Like, late game Sonya, Hardened Shield with Nerves of Steel, like, she's like, I don't care, I'll just stay in here all day with my Whirlwind.
Hero slain.
look at that damage. Just, I mean, looking at the damage from BTY, it's just, yeah, Vala's up there, but there's 3 people that are on the same wavelength as Vala. So it's like you have 1 damage dealer or you have 3. So like they were winning the early game because they're late game damage dealers. Their Sonya, their KT, their Greymane with the stacks of Cocktail just weren't set up yet. And now they are dominating the late game. Late game Dragon, 3 dead. 10 seconds left on Dehaka, and honestly, Dehaka probably can't do much at this point because I think he probably has no essence. And this is looking to be a 4 kill. The Dragon has plenty of health, all 5 members alive, still 20 seconds on the right wing. They're looking to blow up the Vala, and she just gets killed immediately. And that should be GG to game number 1. So, you BTY, you know, goers were correct. The team fight was better, and I was wrong. I definitely thought that Some Like It Hot's had it. They were showing very strong in the early game. But once all the late game power of BTY showed up, they just couldn't contest anymore. I'm just gonna leave the score screen up for a little bit while I do caster things and make sure I can click the right people. So that was BTY, correct. We have Masterfish. Yeah, so that was BTY that wins. Why is this not working? Alright, I guess I'm not doing that. So we'll just go back to this screen so that way you guys can not have to stare at nothing. And during all that, thanks to M Spring for following. So BTY wins. So round 2. We're gonna wait for the map to be selected. Now this map should be picked by Some Like It Hots. Better Than Yesterday should be making the actual... Yeah, the Uther was definitely doing well that game. Like, I saw a lot of good cleanse. Like, especially, like, I really, even though the Sonya dodged it, I really liked that preemptive cleanse on the Muradin stun. Like, if Sonya didn't dodge, she was definitely getting... And that was a really good dodge, too. I would give props for that. But if Sonya didn't happen to be paying attention and just didn't dodge, that Uther cleanse was on point. Like, he was right there with the cleanse. He was right there with the Divine Shields. Uther was definitely doing work. And, you know, showing why Uther is one of the strongest healers right now. So, we get Some Like It Hots with the map pick now. Picking Infernal Shrines. Alright, let's get the stuff set up the right time away. So we're moving to Infernal Shrines, picked by Some Like It Hots. One of these people aren't ready, so I'm just going to pick this guy, make him ready. Start the round. So Better Than Yesterday won the first one. Some Like It Hots is the away team, but they did have the map pick, and the team 1 has first pick. And I think the other team still needs to be getting into the game. Seems like, I don't know if the other team has everybody in the lobby. So just doing admin things. So, what do you guys think about that game? Let me know in chat. I know you guys talking about Uther. This is pretty good. For the Some Like It Hots. I mean, like, I think the Brightwing might have been, like, they already had the global with the Haka. I think the Brightwing might have been I think Brightwing might have been the bad choice there. Like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of it. So they had the disengage against the Greymane, so that's probably good. They just weren't able to use it at the right time. Trying to think, if they had Auriel was banned, if they had picked Rhaegar, they probably still wouldn't have been able to get Ancestrals off because people were dying pretty quick. Like, I don't know, maybe if the Rhaegar timed all of his heal, the Earth Shield, and then the Ancestral all like that, then I think they probably would have been able to get Ancestral off. So maybe Rhaegar. Monk definitely not. I don't know. Out of all of them, I guess it would have been between Brightwing and Rhaegar. So it's of us. Thanks Six Destroyer for following. It's probably definitely between those two. I think what needed to happen is they probably needed to, like, either be more together. Like, they were pretty separated a lot. The Haka wasn't really a part of any team fight, like, I don't think at all. And I mean, Dragonshire is pretty hard to get good bushes once you get to the late game, but I think that was probably a lot of their downfall, is they weren't in team fights enough. Like, they weren't as 5 enough, and they were separated and got caught a lot. CG says only came in for the end. Agree, Brightwing not the best. Man, quick decision making. CG's on point. Be like, nah. Brightwing, no go. Team 1's first pick. Correct. We have the teams on the right side this time, so I don't have to be confused about which team's on the left and which team's on the right. I just hit my mic. I'm sorry. Yeah, like, I was thinking Rhaegar as well, CG. I think, like, with the Cursed Bullet, with the KT stun, with the Anub'arak stun, I think it still would have been pretty tough to get the Ancestrals off. But if they did get the Ancestral, I think they would have won. Like, anytime they hit the Ancestral on the right target, they probably won that team fight. But now, moving into Infernal Shrines, let me switch my view so that way you guys just don't look at my face. This time, the correct side, we have left side, blue team, better than yesterday, BTY. With the first pick, first ban. Some Like It Hots, the red team on the right. What are these little buttons? Oh, these are... Oh, I actually did not notice that before. Thanks, Sigil. This shows the pick ban. How have I not noticed this? But this time, BTY, they picked the Anub'arak last game, deciding to ban it out this game, knowing that, hey, we were able to pick a Anub'arak. We know he's still pretty good, so we're going to go ahead and ban him out. And Some Like It Hot's banning out the Auriel this time, not banning out the Zarya like they did last game. Which immediately the pickup from BTY with the Genji. Eric with complaining that the Auriel was banned. I don't know, his Uther was pretty good. I'm surprised that, you know, he's upset about that. I guess his Auriel must be that much better. But Some Like It Hot's this time, they're deciding to say, hey, we'll pick the Greymane Uther this time. We'll take those Divine Shields. We'll take that Cursed Bullet. But this time you're going against a Genji, and it's going to be much harder to punish that. I granted, you get that one stun on a Genji, you get the Cursed Bullet in between that stun and the leap, then, you know, Genji gets pretty hurt, but I think you'll be able to dash away immediately. I just hope you don't get killed by the resets. So, BTY probably looking for their tank and healer in this rotation, in this pick rate. They could still go with the Haka. They could go with the Haka if they like it. They pick the Arthas and the KT again. So they're looking for the roots and the stun follow. They still get those stun lock combos that they had in the first game, which they worked out so well for them. And I'm assuming picking the Arthas into the Greymane and the Uther. Honestly, Uther's still pretty good. So Some Like It Hots, they've picked their healer. They've banned a healer. They could ban another healer to make sure that they really kind of target BTY into a specific hero or into a specific healer. They could ban the Rhaegar here, since like, if they ban the Rhaegar, what healers are they going to go into? I guess they can still pick Stukov. Eric only plays Ariel. Oh, okay. Was he playing the Uther? I mean, his Uther was good. They do ban the Rhaegar. Trying to work out the heals. I think they'll still probably go with Stukov. I think he's perfectly fine on Infernal Shrines, especially like there's so many chokes on Infernal Shrines for Stukov to put his little lurking arm, his silence, and it's so annoying. It almost feels oppressive. It's like, oh, I'm trying to go into the shrines, but this whole area is silenced, so I guess I have to walk around. Medivh, interesting. Medivh with Genji or Medivh with Greymane? Not sure I like Medivh with Genji. So who does BTY not want to play against? They have a Genji, they have the Kel'Thas, they have the Arthas. I think, honestly, Varian would be kind of scary for them. Like, I know Varian's a late game hero, he's after 10. So but a Varian with somebody that can soak lanes, like let's say basically they just play the game where you ignore the first Punisher and you just take Varian and get a lane soaker and like a Leoric or a Dahaka, and then you just run between the lanes and push out the top lane, like just slow them down, try to get that level 10 lead. If you get level 10, a Varian, Greymane, Uther will destroy a Genji, if they're scared of that. Varian's pretty good against Kel'Thas because he can mitigate a lot of his damage just from pressing his W. They're looking for their tank, and they're looking for probably either another healer or the other frontliner, I think. Trying to think of other tanks. You still have Diablo available. Diablo's pretty good against Genji, pretty good against Kel'Thas. And it's okay against Arthas, not that good. You got the Murden's available. A lot harder to play Murden against Genji. Nubrex out of the table. Stitches, you can still do Stitches. It's always strong. I think Stitch is definitely a top contender.
Reckoning is at hand.
Ooh, I like it. Going with the Sonya, going with the Tyrael, basically going the full dive. Stukov only good at double support. I agree. I agree. Stukov is probably only good at double support. I mean, they can still go Stukov with Zarya. They don't have very good wave clear, so I don't see it happening. But like I'm saying, like Stukov with some type of shielder like that would definitely work. But picking the double healer, thinking that hey, we kind of forced you into a Stukov. We're gonna pick people that are gonna dive, and knowing Stukov is incredibly vulnerable to dive, like incredibly vulnerable. If anybody gets focused and Stukov has to use his trait to heal somebody up immediately, you've basically won the team fight. Tyrael can even go Judgment at that point, but I imagine they're probably going to go just the Sanctification to protect the Greymane and the Sonya. They end up going the Zarya of Malfurion. So both teams have a shielder, both teams have a healer. There's a lot of roots, a lot of lockdown out of capabilities coming out of BTY. They don't have a very good lane matchup at all, honestly. Like, I mean, Kel'Thas for clear, you got Arthas for some clear to stand there, Zarya for some clear. I think so right now Sun Like It Hots has the more aggressive positioning. If the Zarya is on point with her shields, this could spell disaster for Sun Like It Hots. Because like if Zarya can time her shields correctly, then, which I think will be pretty easy to do, Spear is pretty noticeable, then a lot of that damage gets mitigated, and then there's almost no follow-up to that, so, or there's no follow-up from Something Like It Hot, so that could be pretty good. So the last pick from Something Like It Hot, so they have the double front line, kind of three if you count Uther. Do they go another front line, or do they go with the ranged DPS, or another healer? Tychus.
It's about damn.
I don't know if I like that pick. Tychus into Genji, Tychus into Zarya, Tychus into Arthas. He's only got the one dash. Arthas can stick on him pretty well, even through the trait. Genji can deflect a lot and start murdering his own team with a deflect. I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, Odin is always powerful, but maybe they're looking to really dive somebody and get. I don't know. They can't dive because there's Malfurion there for the Twilight Dream. Braxis, yeah, Stukov was really strong on Braxis. All right, guys, round number 2, best of 3 game, Infernal Shrines. What do you guys think about the team fights, the team comps this time? See, type in chat who you think is gonna win. I don't know. I mean, for me, like I like the Sonya Tyrael. I think that they were trying to push into a direction, and I think BTY figured it out and kind of was able to figure out a solution with the Zarya. I mean, I did mention that before they picked it. I just wasn't expecting them to go in it.
Prepare yourselves for battle, heroes.
All right, so on the left side, the fixed screens this time, BTY better than yesterday. We got Zombie Chris on the Zarya, Murad on the Arthas, Grizzly Adams on the KT again, Masterfish on the Genji, and Eric on the Malfurion. On the right side, Some Like It Hot, so we got Crusher 99 on the Tychus, Waterboy TKD on the Sonya, Clyde on the Tyrael, Smithel on the Uther, and Blaze on the Greymane. Looking at quick talents, once again, do not take Flame Strike talent for the KT, just going for the shields to make sure she can stay alive. Cocktail, Run and Gun. Uther hasn't picked his level 1 yet, so I can't think of a situation where you don't take the... Oh, interesting. He actually does go Hammer of the Lightbringer. I do not like this talent. It requires too bad of positioning for Uther. But I guess they're probably thinking like that they're going to be getting a lot of auto attacks in. Starting right away, we're looking like we're getting some better, nice dodge from Crusher there to get away from the Arthas. He still has his trade of value up. They're probably trying to bait out the separating damage on the Zarya, which is pretty much the correct way to play against Zarya. Is that you try to focus, like you look like you're focusing one person, and then you end up just switching targets to bait out the shield. Keep her energy low. Plus, it doesn't ruin your damage. Like even there is a lot of damage for her, but like that shield was pretty good. I know both teams kind of have like the same slow wave clear where they're taking a while to rotate. So they're looks like they're ending up giving it away a little bit. Yeah, I agree, CJ. I don't think I like the Tychus pick. But we can see, I mean, there is a lot of kill potential out of Some Like It Hots. I just think the Zarya will probably counter a lot of that. Just because the Zarya shields are just so much, so high amount. But a good sanctification can definitely change the game around. That's definitely one of those game-changing ultimates. Greymane's got his roll away. Should be no problem. Herd's trying to predict it, that roll, which was on the right track, had Greymane roll to the fence. Basically attack enemies by 75 times. Okay, Sonya is one of those people on... So Infernal Shrine, Sonya is one of those people that can just... Oop, we got a little pause. But Sonya is one of those people that we'd call like a shrine babysitter for Infernal. She can just sit on the shrine by herself, not take any damage, kill them all really quick, and like pretty much kill them before they start respawning, because there's like they spawn in waves, right? And with her Whirlwind, she's able to just sit there the entire time with no threat at all. So that's why we kind of call her a babysitter. But like, so a big thing, and I'll try to bring it up now before it happens, but like on the top shrine here, and it's kind of the same strat, is that you want to kind of not be in the shrine while the minion wave is in the middle, because then you have vision of both of this entrance, which is such a big deal for this middle shrine. Like you only have two entrances really. You have here and here. This one you're not going to be seen, but you're going to be funneled. This one you can be, if you control the minion wave, you're not going to be seen, but like it at least gives you two escapes. It gives you two entrances, so you can collapse on anybody that's in the middle. So if your team does not control this minion wave, you should not be here, because let's say Tyrael's right here, or Uther's right here for whatever reason. Sonya, we'll say, is right here, and then this minion wave gets killed. These four members can all rotate up and try to gank that Sonya when she only has this direction to run. So you can kind of start running that way to kind of cut her off, and it makes it really powerful. So this is one thing to keep in mind for, make it somewhat of a learning stream. It's pretty strong on this shrine. It's very strong on this shrine, because being able to take the minion wave, you can now rotate through this vent and cut off anybody that's in the middle. Somebody left the game instead of unpausing. Wait, do we have to? I don't think I've been in this situation before. I mean, he should be able to just log back in. Man, I guess if he actually quit the game versus disconnecting, maybe he can't. Alright, so good. He's loading in. That would have been funny. Have to remake 3 minutes in. Man, I should have gotten some water during this. Yeah, I'm the only one that can actually, like... I can only resume. Only a referee can unpause the game, yeah. Oh no, he's back. Thanks for all my shenanigans, haha. Alright. Back in there, boys. Eric has joined the game. Nice deflect there from the Genji, and the Zarya shield did bubble up. Zarya's still pretty low on energy, got a little bit more, we got a lot of poke coming out. See, right now, we have control of this lane right here, so you see how, like, since they have this control, they cannot escape this way, since Genji is able to control this little opening, and that's what I was talking about before. It's like, honestly, the rest of the team should have just jumped on that Genji right there. Murd is almost out of mana, there's only 7 minions left for something like a Hatsun. It seems like they're going to be the first ones to get this, and that they do. Like, you could definitely see the power there. So see how the Greymane was sitting right here. He was able to get Cocktail Poke, and better than yesterday, could only sit right here. Like, they were just completely stuck to this location, and that's what I was talking about earlier with controlling that minion wave. Good use of the Zarya, putting her bubble on the Punisher jump, gives her free energy plus saves a lot of damage. But something like a Hot sitting there with the almost 2 level lead now, level and a half lead. Pretty powerful for a first Punisher. I mean, Greymane was sitting down in the bottom lane. He's gotten a tower, and this is what I was saying earlier. Like, BTY just don't have lane presence. I mentioned this in the draft, and it's definitely noticeable. Like, as 4, sure, they have lots of lane presence. As 1 or 2, they have almost none, compared to some like it Hots. Both teams going for both Mercs. Greymane actually selling the Merc here. Luckily, they don't check. And that's not something you normally check. As any team, normally you're sitting here, okay, team 1's gonna, or team 2's gonna go take this, we're gonna go take ours, and no big deal. The fact that Greymane was able to solo him gives a lot of value to these night camps up here. Or shaman camp, I should say. I hate that camp. I never know what to call it. Getting a lot of lane presence. Greymane's soloing the lane a lot. I mean, honestly, Greymane's a very good soloer. Cocktail is very efficient at soloing the lane. Hasn't been able to get any stacks yet. Taika is not deciding what level 7 he wants to pick. Looking for a little bit of Cocktail stacks. Not able to get any during that team fight. It's unfortunate. Genji's just having a tough time against Sonya up here. Actually, not, and surprisingly, even though he's been soloing against Genji for a lot, he's not been able to get many stacks. A little bit mistimed on the roots. They have a little bit more communication. Make sure that when Arthas starts or Uther or Malfurion starts, basically saying who's actually going to start This, wow, what a play to not cap that and have this pushing for the bot lane. That's so efficient for something like that. What game knowledge with this. And this is their map to pick, so they've obviously practiced these timings to making sure where they can go where. Genji's looking for some of those resets. So this lane, this map, this shrine is not as beneficial to control the shrine just because this opening is so much wider. Like this opening is so wide that anybody can kind of walk through. You can't body block, so you don't get much value there. But Genji's kind of pushing out this Greymane. He's kind of keeping him out of the fight. Nice cocktail damage there. Don't spread the chain bombs, I like it. As Greymane keeps throwing out these cocktails, it's actually going to make it pretty scary. Zarya is not able to get too much value, but they're spreading a lot of chain bombs. And Uther's not able to keep up with this. And this is probably what Uther's saying here, saying, hey, I can't deal with this damage. She's hit so low. 29 damage from Waterboy Kid. Yeah, if they didn't spread so much chain bomb there, they probably would be in a much better position. And I think that's exactly what lost them. Oh, but the re-jump in. They only need 2 more from BTY. Are they going to get it? They do. But they do get the Zarya kill with no punish yet. Genji might have a jump. No, yes. But now they're so hurt they almost can't even go for the Punisher. They're waiting for the Uther to do it. But still jumps over the Tesla. So one other thing is that the Punisher only sees who attacks. So since if the Uther doesn't use his wave over there, then it's not going to see him. Yeah, and this, look at this, they get a fort. So they lost the Punisher, they got a fort, 2-level lead with the level 10s now. We want to see something like Haas be aggressive. They're level 10, be aggressive, honestly I would say take these shamans. Just force them, force the control of the map on your side. But everybody did have to back, which is fair. You have plenty of time, you have half a level still. We're seeing all 3 members now soak. And this is what I was saying earlier, like, in these times like this, your wave clear is just so limited to basically just a KT. We're seeing pretty passive play for having heroics. I would really like to see them aggressively rotate up here. This might be what they're going for. The KT might have been caught out. The rest of the team is rotating up. I don't know, I think that's a dead KT. The leap! I didn't even see what ultimate she picked. She picked the leap, getting the KT kill. Now they should definitely be taking these shamans. We got Leap, Curse Bullet, Odin, Sanctification, Divine Shield. I mean, I guess that's probably why Sonya took Leap. You got 2 targets now for the Divine Shield. You got Leap and you got Greymane. Level 10 hit, Army of the Dead, Dragon Blade, Twilight, typical stuff. Expulsion Zone. Expulsion Zones should be able to be a pretty big game changer for some of these Punisher fights because, you know, I mean, all of these chokes are great Expulsion Zone places, and just especially when they're like just barely, like once you start those situations where KT is just getting a lot of flame strike damage, getting a lot of living bomb damage, and they're trying to run away. Like, oh nope, don't run away. It's basically like a Catastar shield. Still that level lead. We do have Odin available. Heroic Leap is up in 10. If they get a Heroic Leap into Spear into Utherstone on the Genji, that would be really funny. That will shut him down. Some good cocktail damage. Only needs 1 more cocktail to get him started up. The Curse Bullet coming onto the Arthas doing half damage. Now they're going to be trying to heal him up. Odin is out with that. The Leap. Oh, the Leap got baited by the Genji. A good Expulsion Zone on the Tyrael. And doesn't actually die. And Genji goes in for trying to get the resets with the Dragon Blade. And gets killed by everybody else. The Pine Shield saving them, and Uther is just too strong. Sanctification coming in, everybody trying to run in there to make sure they get the Sanctification. That's a 2 for nothing so far. A pretty good, you know, mouth route to get him out. Is Tyrael gonna die? I'm not really sure why he cleansed him there. Wait, it wouldn't take. Yeah, I don't know why he cleansed him. But that was that was a one-sided Punisher. Like, that was with, even though the Sonya Leap missed the almost killing the Tyrael there, Tyrael was just perfect bait for the team to get Divine Shield and then save him. Now, this time Genji is deciding to defend, or to soak rather. And they're just going to push with 4 right here, knowing that Sun's on the bottom lane, so they don't want to go too far in. We have every ult down besides the Expulsion Zone. Make sure to keep the Expulsion Zone very separated. Greymaine's getting some good cocktail damage. Looking at the damage here, got Greymane with double everybody else in the game by a lot. So KT's actually doing no damage. What's up with that? Oh, that's siege damage. I'm stupid. Never mind. He's doing lots of damage. Both teams, I want to see if the Greymane... We haven't seen the Punisher in the top lane yet. Did we? See, once again, back to their... Like, what they did in the first round with them taking both camps at the same time. Not being able to be punished for it. They were 13 on them. Sonya in the lane. Ooh, Sonya's looking scary though. She just used her whirlwind, but she has lead to get away. I mean, it's nice that they use that, but it's a pretty short cooldown, so like she doesn't really care. 70 seconds. There's been, you know, Cavalier Guest, if anybody knows him, he's a great, kind of like almost like a mathematician for heroes. He goes through a lot of stats, making sure that what you can test and not test, and basically, if you have a heroic that's a level 70 seconds, you have it for every team fight. So 70 seconds and below is always going to be available for a team fight. So getting a push onto the Zarya real quick. They don't really actually care about the shield because they're so low. They don't get the kill though. Oh, the Tyrael gets the kill with the sword. And they're looking to be aggressive here. Still getting the Genji as well. Even all that mobility and they all still died. Did something happen? Oh, they lost somebody. I should pause. I should have paused earlier. That was my bad. But it wasn't going to change the team fight. They might have been lagging out before that, and that might have changed the game. Alright, we're back in there again. With 3-0 kills, deciding to take their shamans. Easy decision. Should be a free Punisher for Some Like It Hots. And once again, Sonya's be able to babysit it. So, I mean, I think this game, their macro play from Some Like It Hot was definitely much better, was stronger than BTY. And actually, the macro play from Some Like It Hot was better in the first game as well. It's just that their team fight was just so much slower, was just not getting any advantage. So this time, their macro has been able to keep them ahead and force those poor positions out of BTY. But they're pretty consistent. Their macro has been on point both games, which is good to see. Zarya sitting out here with a little bit of a bait. She's going to be scouted out. She can't run. There's no 16 yet, but they should be getting 16 off this minion wave. There it is. Seeing the immediately Holy Ground pick up. It would be great if he had Holy Ground that team fight. Or with that Zarya. Getting the run speed from the Greymane, make sure you can get in and out more. Expulsion Zone coming out. Both walls are actually dead. Look how quick they killed those walls to make sure Expulsion Zone can't get any value. Got Curse Bullet on the Arthas. Hasn't popped on it, it's dead. But the Tyrael coming with the damage with the Punisher, destroying the Zarya. And they're looking to take a keep now. Should be an easy keep with Zarya dead. Level 16 still taken. We're still ahead. Greymane going in. Are they looking to end here? The Sonya Leap not on the same target, but Dragon Blade's coming in. Nice silencing in 3 members. This might have been too far in. A great silencing in 3 members. There's the Sanctification. And the counter kills on Greymane and Malfurion. They are probably looking to end here. I don't know if they can. I mean, oh my god, the damage. Holy cow. What is that Tyrael doing? Tyrael's doing more damage than the Sonya. What is that? Got the explosion, holy, burning fair. It's all the normal stuff, but man, he is doing damage to him. So, 16 or 17 to 14, talent tier advantage for Sunlight Haas. Their macro play is just keeping BTY on the edge. Not allowed to do anything. BTY basically just has to either look for super passive macro play or be aggressive. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're trying to get a gank here. Uther spots out the Arthas, so they probably know exactly where they are. They see some pings. I think Genji might have just been seen there. So the Arthas went a little bit too far, got caught out, got seen, and their plan was foiled. Which forces them out. I mean, I like it. It was a risky move, but they had to make a risky play to get an advantage back. Now they're another Punisher being summoned. There's complete. One leap comes out. Got the unstoppable from the Zarya. Genji shield going in. That's 2 ultimates. 1 ultimate for each of the team. First bullet going out. And Greymane been on point with his first bullets. It's definitely just jumped up his damage now ahead of the Tychus. And if nothing else, it's slowed down them defending this core. Genji's just waiting for the rest of the team, saying, hey, I don't really have any wave clear. You guys do it for me. Gonna get seen by the Tyrael. They could easily jump on this. Decided not to. It's level 16 still not reached for BTY, and it feels real bad for him. Genji comes leaping in there a little bit, looking to get some type of vision. They have the expulsion zone, expulsion zone coming out, kind of splits the team, but with the Tyrael being in the front phase, they are actually able to get right away, and the Sanctification coming out with the Odin, immediately killing out the Zarya after his shield is done. They're like, we don't care about your shield, we'll do enough damage. Tyrael gets the Divine Shield, but decides to run away with it and spread chain bombs. Probably the wrong move. Back and forth with the Odin. Odin is just enough to do much damage. They hit 16. I mean, there was good timing out of BTY. They hit 16 and immediately tried to be aggressive. But during all that, they still get the Punisher, and they get the kill, and they get the Merc Camp. So this is going to be pretty tough now. This is they're not level 20 yet. They still have 1 level until level 20. Zarya is just resing. A lot of ultimates are down besides Bullet and Lead. Like I said, like every team fight lead is up. They might be looking at this KT, not going to fully commit. Tyrael does go in. 1 keep down. I like the bait into the top keep. That looks like that must have been a misclick. It seems like they're just going to say, hey, we're here. We're not too scared of you. Again, it's just going to be a nuisance.
Punisher has been slain.
Genji is just trying to poke his heart out, just trying to do as much as he can to keep him on edge, but it might have been too far. He still has his dash. Leap misses, spear hits, and the poison damage from the spear is enough to kill him as he dashes away. And that's level 20 for Sunlight Haas. And this is where Sonya becomes so scary. She has Hardened Shield, she has Nerves of Steel, she's got the Whirlwinds. I mean, she's gonna be unkillable now. You know, at the end of the beginning, we were like, hey, we don't really like the Tychus. We could have seen somebody else here. But it's been working for him. I mean, he's pulling out a lot of damage. Just barely behind the Greymane, not too far behind KT. Ahead of the Genji, which is good. But, I mean, maybe that damage was just enough to burst through burst through the Zarya, to burst through the Malfurion. Malfurion doesn't do that much heals anymore. I mean, looking at his healing. 58 to the Uther's 36, actually doing quite more healing. But I think Uther's healing is a lot more impactful because of the damage reduction. I'm surprised they're not being aggressive at all with this level 20 advantage. They're saying, hey, we're just gonna play it cool, play our game, play our macro. not risk throwing the game. It's always their game to lose.
Will be ready soon.
But honestly, with level 20, you probably could just ended the game right there with the 3 level advantage that you had. And how the team fights have been going in your favor every time so far. Level 20 is not going to be reached in time for this Punisher. Ooh, they're trying to do a bait a little bit. Genji poking, as he should. Tyrael setting up the holy ground. They haven't scouted this push out yet, but they have to assume everybody's there.
Out of the way.
There's one expulsion zone. Odin's coming in from the top lane. Sanctification coming to stopping any damage that comes in. Curse Split finally just hits with a leap, going right into the Genji, but Nafurian Twilight Dream is able to keep him away. But the holy cow, the Greymane cocktail damage. Smite getting the double kill with the Smite, and they're just chasing everybody down. No escape with a full dive comp. And everybody is just dead. That's an uncomfortable lane position. And the 5-man wipe, level 20 to level 18. I mean, there's nothing BTY can do there with the level 18 to level 20 and the Punisher. Like, either let them have the Punisher and lose, or fight them and probably lose. So, you have to do what you have to do, but a great game from Some Like It Hots. I think they played the same as their first game with the macro, but they were able to get more advantage out of it because of their team fighting. So going this to a game number 3, 1-1. Looking at the damage here. I'll leave this up while I do admin stuff. So going to game number 3. So we got draft home team. Matt pick your team, so BTY now picks. Alright, we can go back to this screen for a little bit because there's nothing to see on that screen. Yeah, I mean, Some Like It Hots, I mean, I think they played that really well. I was skeptical of the Tychus pick, but I think the fact that they overloaded on the damage there with I mean, Tyrael was doing more damage to Sonya by a good margin, actually. The Tychus damage, like, their just damage numbers are just so much higher that they were just able to burst through the Zarya shields. And since they had banned out the Ariel and banned out the Rhaegar and took Uther, leaving just the Malfurion, like, if they had taken Stukov there, I mean, Silence is very powerful, honestly. You can't give the credit to Silence to stop a lot of damage. So maybe Stukov might have been better with those chokes. We're going to go to Towers of Doom next. We got, let's see, who do we got here? We have which side needs to be on which side. Make sure we get that straight away. So Towers of Doom. Draft home team. I like it. He already put everybody on the other side. What a good guy. So Matt picked by BTY. Draft starting team, Some Like It Hots, team 2. Waterboy keeps shit talking his wife in comms. Who's his wife? All right. Game number 3 out of the best of 3. This one is for the win, for the victory of this week. I am going to get water real quick, though. I don't really have a screen to put this to, so I'm just going to do... One sec. And we're back. Put this back up like that. All right. Ready to go to game number 3 on Towers of Doom. This is definitely a very strong macro map. I think a lot of people don't realize how much of a macro map this is. Being able to control the bot lane, being able to control those 2 merc camps, those 2 sapper camps on the bottom. The game is ready. Yeah, but being able to control and then having your rotation between lanes to get to the right shrines is very important. All right, so we got Some Like It Hot's on the right, first picking. See if they go for their more of a macro style play again. They've done it very well. Wait. Somebody just got baited. Eric with the got bait him. Once again, banning the Ariel. They must really... I don't know, maybe you guys play against each other, Eric, but they must really know that he likes to play Ariel. Like, I feel like I just let him take Ariel and then just take Chromie. I feel like that's what they really did. That would have been the ultimate shade if you let them take Ariel and then you take Chromie. Especially on Towers of the Doom, which is Chromie's like best map.
The light abandons no man.
Picking Uther, both teams that have Uther have won. Both teams that have had Sonya have won. Maybe there's a pattern. Sonya Uther, pretty good. Greymane has also won both rounds. And so now we haven't split up. So now we get to see who was the problem here. Who was the real winner? Was it the Uther or was it the Greymane? Now if Some Like It Hots pick up Sonya, then it's gonna be like, oh, was it the Sonya? Is it the Greymane? But do you see the new Noobrack this time not banned out, so there is gonna be web wrap available. Also a lot of dive to supplement the Greymane. Stun locks. Web wrapping Uther almost forces you to have to take a second healer. I think that's kind of what they're deciding on, whether they want to let web wrap be a thing. You could take out the Li Ming. We're seeing this a lot in the pro play nowadays, is the taking the Li Ming, taking the Tychus to let them web wrap, and then you immediately have those 2 heroes focus on the web wrap with the beam from a safe distance, Tychus with just the minigun, and you can break that web wrap so quick that it actually didn't matter. So let's see if they move into that direction. Taking the Tyrael again, they do take the Li Ming, so yeah, exactly. So we're seeing that a lot where, you know, in the lower level leagues, in lower ELO, Noobrack kind of shuts down Li Ming because of her spell armor. Granted, that spell armor has been nerfed since then, but still strong against Li Ming. And the Beetles would always soak up a lot of her skill shots. But now at the higher levels of play, you would see that Li Ming is actually the counter to Noobrack because web wrap was such a big deal in the lower levels, or in the higher levels, that you need to break that right away. And so Li Ming kind of came back into the meta just to counter a Noobrack, which is kind of a funny interaction between the two. Sechel says, Arik, Medivh or Riot? I don't know, I guess somebody's talking you up. You better Medivh. Last game. Pull out all the stops, the 1 tricks. There's one Uther already shown, one healer already shown. They have just a Tyrael, which is a side tank. And they decided to ban the Sonya. They do know that Sonya's won both times. Sonya with our Tyrael was pretty strong. Sonya with Uther is pretty strong. That was totally like a meta ban. That's one of those fun interactions when you see a couple games between teams. They're like, hey, you guys like to play this. I mean, exactly what Ariel is. Like, hey, you guys like to play the Sonya. So, well, Sonya's been winning. So, you have a Nubrak, you have Greymane. What healer do you want? Are they going to go for the Medivh? Medivh is pretty strong on this map. Rhaegar will still probably be pretty good. A lot of people don't realize how much Rhaegar can solo. Rhaegar can solo any camp pretty quickly. He can solo a wave pretty quickly with his double, like if he goes the double lightning shield. And if somebody gets on mobile, he can stick on him pretty well. Like if Li Ming blinks before Rhaegar puppy bites, then she's dead. Like she honestly does not live. If she can't if she can't just straight up walk to a tower. Lord Mudkip, I think I've seen you a couple around. Long decisions on this. The Rhaegar, they do pick Rhaegar, and the Dahaka. So right now we got double tank, we got the DPS, you got the Rhaegar. Are they gonna go with the Medivh? You know what's really funny to see is Dahaka tonguing somebody and then taking a portal back. Like his body just like spasms. Oh, not the body, the tongue like spasms, because it's like the tongue can only move so much every second, I think, and so it just like super spasms to get back to try to catch up to the Dahaka, which is really funny. I know a lot of people in chat are looking for the Medivh. I'm hoping we get to see it. There's a lot of talking. I guess Eric must be known. Summon the Medivh. We can start the summon the Medivh chant. Okay, so for Sunlight and Hots, you have Tyrael, you have Li Ming, you have not the super sustained damage dealer. You're kind of have only Li Ming just to stop a Nubrak web wrap. So you're going to be looking for another frontliner. I'd honestly like, who would I like here? Probably Diablo. Or Stitches. Yeah, maybe Diablo. I'm pretty good at my predictions, man. Pretty good at my predictions. Pick the Diablo. Which is funny because like I feel like when I draft for my own team, like when we're playing together and we're in like unranked and we're in or team league or in chair league, I'm like, do I draft this? I mean, I draft Diablo just because I think he's underrated as well, along with Sonya. I'll pick Sonya all day, but Diablo, he's really powerful, man. Granted, he's a lot more powerful if you're going against a sustained mage dealer. Like if you're going against a KT, I'll pick Diablo all day. But Greymane, not so much. I mean, Greymane can, once Diablo gets his health backs up, Curse Bullet does that much more damage. He doesn't do that much more spell damage and can start learning people. We got a lot of Medieval Riot. They picked up the false side to get more global to kind of counter the Dahaka, which is smart on this map. Global is very important. No Medivh. You guys failed. You guys have to yell at him. Like, start whispering him right now. Start whispering him. Picking the Zul'jin. Shout out for T-Revs or Riot. Who's T-Revs? I mean, I'm pretty sure Domo Varian is the #1 Medivh in NA, but I'm sure T-Revs is pretty good. Zul'jin, I think Zul'jin's an interesting pick. I don't think he's very good here. He's got some poke with. I think they probably tried to go with more auto attack because they picked the Diablo, because they have the Tyrael. Both Tyrael and Diablo are both spell tanks. They beat up on spell people, mages. So they try to focus more onto the auto attacks to make sure that they are not getting any benefit out of that spell armor. We might see. I think this is not going to be a map where Diablo can go orbs because there's not enough orbs during the team fight areas of the shrines. So he's probably going to have to go the charge trait value.
Prepare yourself for battle.
But anyways, we got game number 3 out of 3 games, the winning game of the series. We got on the left side, better than yesterday, Zombie Chris on Dahaka, Grizzly Adams on the Zul'jin, Murad on the Greymane, Eric on the Rhaegar, and Masterfish on the Anub'arak. On the right side, Some Like It Hot, Crusher 99 on the Falstad, Waterboy TKD on the Diablo, Clyde on the Tyrael, Blaze on
four,
the Li Ming, and
3,
Simple on the
2, 1.
Uther.
Let the battle begin.
Trev's taught Domo. Oh, really? I actually haven't heard of Trev's. I'm honestly sorry. So, I mean, that's pretty sick. I know Domo's very good. I've seen him a lot. So if Trev's is better, then I give it. Got the classic Li Ming poke, not letting a new Barak soak it up, letting the Dahaka. Interesting with that, he kind of just walked up and charged the minion. I'm not really sure, but he was hoping to get a pull on somebody else. But it's like, hey, I'm probably a little too far, and I'm going to have to go ahead and charge the minion, which I think is the most fun ability to do as Diablo. It's like, oh man, I'm in trouble, but like, oh wait, there's a minion right there. Let me charge through this wall into that minion. Like, this shouldn't be a thing. Like, Diablo, this giant monster, shouldn't be able to charge through a wall and hit a little minion. Tyrael against the Dahaka, that's not going to go well. You'd rather see the Falstad there, because Falstad can just kite Dahaka and win the lane completely. I'm seeing the 3-man. I'd rather see the 3-man on the bottom, because the bottom lane is the minion lane, the Mercs. So a lot of times with this map, at least in my opinion, this map strat is you have your globals top, you have your main 3-man on bot, and anybody in mid. It's just a rotation, because then basically what happens when you have your globals is that you have your 3-man bot, and when you get somebody close enough, or if you get somebody close enough in the mid, is you use your global to get there to get that gank, and then you just have your main people just walk back top. And then now, like, if you have 3 people down here, somebody could already be taking these Mercs and having them pressured. Looking for a little bit of the advantage on the Falstad.
Prepare yourselves, heroes. The altars rise.
We're going to have to see who is the better player. Was Greymane the benefit, or was the Uther the playmaker? Clyde is just, and this is the problem with Tyrael in the lane, solo lane, is that they just run out of mana like nobody's business. Yeah, Dahaka's real low, and he honestly didn't need to use his Essence there. He could have just walked away, but he didn't know who else was coming up to follow up. And then he would have been able to Hearth, burrow back, and have all his Essence. This is actually more beneficial for someone like Haas because Dahaka has no Essence. A nice interrupt to stop the the Diablo from being able to pull around. Zombie Chris is coming back in, but he still has no Essence. Like, he can't fight too much. But between the Greymane cocktails, but everybody else is just so out of mana. Clyde's out of mana, Simple's out of mana, and they just can't team fight anymore. So the more benefit there, even though Dahaka could not team fight anymore, the fact that someone like Hatsu was not able to micromanage their mana made them lose that shrine. Quick wave clear. I'd like to see Dahaka go top, let the rest of them take these Mercs. Exactly. Perfect rotation in my opinion. And we're not seeing a response Merc capture from some like it Hots. I mean, you don't see anybody on the map. A little bit of mistiming on the Li Ming, but still nothing to kill.
First blood.
Also with the fly, so they're coming in using their global. They already have Tyrael up here, getting behind the Dahaka. A new bracket is coming up. Dahaka already used his Essence. They might get this kill. Falstad just had no mana. If Falstad had enough mana for the Lightning Shield, I think that Dahaka would have been dead. They've been having so many mana problems so far. Not losing out on Soak, luckily but here comes, we're getting this first tower. A little bit of a damage experience lead, probably about like a quarter of a level lead.
Be ready. You must capture them.
So, these shrines. Both bot lane, we have both globals top lane. Perfect, exactly what it needs to be. Not level 7 yet, so they're going to want to look for level 7. Li Ming getting some of that's some of the issue with the beetles soaking up some damage. This is where it's like, it's tricky between, do we try to take one, do we just try to punish the other people, zoning people out, and I'm actually going to take this out so you can see more of the map. Zul'jin's actually going to get this one for free, which is super powerful for better than yesterday, which puts them in a lead, because now they're going to have already one ahead, so even if they lose this, it's not that big of a deal. But they'll be able to at least pressure a lot more. Both globals are coming in. The Haka's coming in from the bot lanes. Already had to use his essence, so he's not gonna have that available. Diablo's getting quite low and goes down. You're right, but the Uther still. They basically sacrificed Diablo for taking that shrine. Tyrael, why did Tyrael go back in there? I don't understand. Why did you go in? Did you thought? I think he probably expected something else to come up when he needed the body block for the Uther, but I don't really see a reason to Elduin's back in. So that was 2 kills for the price of a bell tower. So basically, keeps their 4 shots lead. Still a close game. Can easily go anyway. Level 10 is going to make the big difference here. Zul'jin, I expect to see the guillotine, not Taz Dingo, honestly. Unless he's expecting to get picked a lot, I don't see Taz Dingo coming into play. I mean, he might because of the Diablo and the Tyrael. Nobody top lane right now, so being able to get a little bit of soak. The Haka's coming in behind. Hopefully the Falstad sees it. Tongue? Oh, I just barely missed. Ooh, Diablo though. Diablo has no escape at this point. And there comes the Sunlocks. And that's a dead Diablo.
Slain.
That is the only problem with Diablo, is that if he's in the lane, then there's no way he can go back for it. It actually would have been more interesting. I like this invade. They just killed Diablo. They're about to hit level 10. And so they have no problem with just completely invading here and getting a free Murkcaptor. And this is going to give them full control of the bot lane. They have level 10, or they're just seconds away from level 10. Yeah, see, I mean, Falstad wins this lane every time. Wait, that burrow didn't, unless he used it afterwards. Ooh, barely got the tongue. Almost baited him back into it. One of the classic moves is to Haku. Say, hey, chase me, chase me, chase me. Tongue, here's towers. So always be looking for that. If you're going against the Dehaka lane, is you're going to be looking for that play where you're chasing into this, so you don't want to get focused on the chase. You just want to kind of be just out of range. Level 10 not yet reached for some like Hots. Falstad is trying to get they just hit level 10 here. He's actually going to sneak the other bell tower since all 5. He's not going to be able to get it, and he's actually probably going to die for this. He has Gust. There's one, but he can't get away. Ooh, the fly. Oh, that was nice. Flew a little too far away, but I guess he probably just quickly picked it. And they were able to get both bell towers. Pretty typical, since they were level 10 first. They were able to take this level 10 with the take this bell tower with the level 10 advantage, and then went back to take the other one. Falstad had a cheeky move trying to get it. It would have been convenient if they were able to stop the mounting from BTY. So I mean, the game's still not over. We still haven't seen like a real team fight between with all heroics. We've kind of just seen some skirmishes before level 10s were hit. So the next bell tower will probably start determining the pace of the game to see how that team fight goes. Ooh, Diablo's picked. There could be a crit bullet. Ends up not coming out. A lot of Li Ming damage hitting there. I mean, once again, some like it hot. I have to give it to them. Their macro value is very good. Like, they're very good at actually sitting in the lane when they need to, rotating out to the lane, making sure that they're always soaking. Like, you can always see, like, Dehaka, granted, they're able to double soak now, but they were able to catch up a lot in experience because of their lane soaking. Nice! That Li Ming damage coming in from the back line. This could be the team fight. The Ancestral going on the wrong target, Greymane dying, and this could be the team fight they want. Li Ming getting the red set. Do see Taz Dingo. Essence is being used by Dehaka. Interrupted the isolation. And there goes the Dehaka, and that's, like I said, level 10. We haven't seen a real team fight yet. That was a great flank by the Li Ming to come in and get a huge orb damage, getting everybody super low, and then following up with the 2 kills. It's getting them a free bell tower.
The time is now, heroes. Claim the altars in my name.
And a level lead this with these two, they could probably push into these two towers and actually get a level 13 talent advantage. So I mean, granted, there's a lot of bell towers to go to catch up, but that's the starting point. Not level 13 yet. I kind of don't want to see him be too aggressive here, unless they know where everybody is on the map. They don't see everybody on the map yet. Hitting that straight up wall. Wall best hero. Greymane, you know, using some advantage of the split soaking, trying to get some of the macro, but is it at what cost? I mean, they're actually losing people down here, and they're about to lose this keep. So the Greymane not being here actually was, I mean, in hindsight, it was not the right call there. It's hard to tell. I mean, you're thinking, hey, you know, just delay them. We're just gonna get some split soaking. We gotta get level 13, which I can understand their reasoning. It just didn't play out the way that they wanted to. And now this is where this map feels pretty snowbally. Once you get one bell tower and you just rotate around to get the next bell towers, like just non-stop. Especially since they got a kill and took the bell tower, it just, you're now in this constant back and forth of let's take mid, we take bot, we take mid, we take bot, we take top, and force them to keep chasing. Like right now they should be rotating back bot. I don't like the call to go top. You want to go back bot. You always want to make sure that you're taking these two, the top and mid, strictly because of these merc camps. That's the only reason. Like this taking up, let's say they had kept there and kept defending, then now say like now I like what you do. So they defended mid. Now you have to rotate all the way bottom to be like to force them around. I mean, granted, I don't like the call from BTY to constantly come back and retake. Most of the time, in my opinion, you should try to stop the next push, especially once you're in the talent even. Just defend the next tower. Like keep one tower down. It's not going to be the end of the world. And then push to the next one. There's the tongue coming out. Tyrael has used his escape, and he doesn't have the Reaper's cooldown. Sanctification comes out, not for too much long, and still able to walk away with the extra run speed. Using their global down here, Falstad will be able to fly up top. I don't know if he has his fly ability. He does have it up, but they'll be trading anyways. Dehaka ends up dying from the dive in from Diablo. Not level 16 advantage yet, but look, bell towers are caught back up. That 8 or whatever 12 so bell tower lead that they had, not making a difference now. Ooh, almost got that grab over. Level 16 just hit. Seeing full orb build from Liming. Look at this in the backline, just kind of poke on towers. And the overcharge reset. And now this is where Diablo becomes super annoying. Like just, oh here, I'm going to charge you, get myself out of position, flip you, and then get myself back into position with my team, and you out of position. It's like, what? Like, come on, man. And he doesn't die? Because he did. Got a little bit of a team fight here, looking to take this bottom keep. I mean, easy keep decision since they already have the mercs, MVC2 in the other lanes. Falstad's actually almost done with their Season Marksman. Ooh, Falstad. Okay, I thought they were almost looking for the Dehaka. Now they're just going to go back and forth to, once again, taking the fort. Hopefully this time they decide to go bot. And not top. Because there's not in a situation where you're going to get all three capped at the same time and actually get free shots. Like, that's just, it's not going to happen. So like, you could have gone back bot and actually just killed these guys. Level 16 now reached for BTY. Oh, it's actually been reached for a while. But, I mean, they're just controlling the map. They're just playing the passive game. 5 to 3 kills. Looking at the damage. Got Liming with the most, obviously. And not that high of damage from the other teams. Zul'jin and Greymane just honestly not too scary. This bell tower is going to be pretty big. Anub'arak diving way in there to get the web wrap. A not too efficient Sanctification coming in. A nice gust to split the rest of the team. Trying to time in the Apox with their slow, but they're still able to walk away enough. I like the, I mean, look at that. Getting so many people out of position. This team fight is all over the place. Lime's coming in from the side flanks, is able to get the reset, 2 resets, come in, getting the 3rd and the 4th most likely, and that was just her flanking there was ridiculous. Li Ming position has been on point with the flanks. Now they should easily get a fort or the boss. One of those 2 decisions. Looks like they're probably gonna go for the fort. Can't decide. Back and forth, back and forth. He's actually gonna take it. Just false out's like, hey, why don't we just wait for the minions to take it? And then he's just like, nah, man, I'll just heal you. Just soak the damage. I don't care. Now they should usually go for boss. We have not have sanctification. We do have holy ground, so they should be able to take any type of pretty much any merc they can steal easily. And now they got that bell tower lead, significant bell tower lead. Almost level 20. It's looking tough for BTY. I mean, they're gonna have to pick something, get a good team fight with a good pick to come in here and get the win. Honestly, I think I would have liked to see guillotined. I don't think so. Taz Dingo in a competitive play is basically saying, hey, I expect to either be dove and bait them into the dive and I Taz Dingo, or I am out of position and I need Taz Dingo to save myself. Guillotine, on the other hand, is like, hey, I'm stun locking this, let's just kill that guy. So it's more, I think, in my opinion, Guillotine is more oriented towards a team fight. Only 9 shots left. There's only 1 shrine, level 20 hit, so this is gonna be an easy shrine for someone like it Hots. Coordinated play, that's what I was looking for. I think they're deciding to see if they can push in mid while also trying to cap this to get extra value on their shots. They get 5 shots here, so no matter what, capping this with only 4 shrines and also yeah, like now there's only 4 shots left, so no matter what, the next bell tower will net them again. And you know, BTY still have to get level 10. I mean level 20. It's tough. Like they're just constantly doing this back and forth. Like when you get into this not trap, but when you get into this routine of, okay, you're taking a bell tower, we're gonna retake our bell tower while you take the next one, and we're just gonna sit here and just wait around for a little bit. Like you saw them here, they're waiting around for this bell tower to spawn, and when they could have just kind of pushed out the other bell tower. In my opinion, I mean, maybe that's not the correct. Maybe I'm actually just talking out my ass. It feels like to me that it just seems worth it to sit here and do nothing. Now, granted, they have the talent tier down, but you're fighting into a 4 that can play a lot. Level 20, level 20. They're looking to make a play. False out. They know somebody's top. Now they see the rest of the team taking this fort, and they're gonna decide once again to just play a passive, click back, and take their own fort back to gain no benefit. No matter what, at this point, as long as they don't lose all 3 forts, it does not change the outcome of the next bell tower. You know what does change the outcome of the next bell tower? Team fight. So they're just going to go back and forth and trading. I mean, they had to go up here to stop these sappers. Let's just back and forth. Oh, I completely missed the Dahaka die. When did Dahaka die? That's really bad. When did that happen?
We have lost a tower.
And this is not looking good for BTY. They have a double bell tower spawn. Dahaka's up in 16. They're going to be looking to, with a great delay on taking these sappers. So now the sappers are pushing bottom with the bell towers on top. And so you either take 3 shots here.
Take the altars.
You can't let these 4 shots, obviously, so that has to be interrupted. The Divine Shield taking the bell tower, probably with sanctification after that too. That was a guaranteed win. That's just pretty good. Divine Shield, cheese. Not really cheese. This is smart. I mean, they were behind 12 bell tower shots, and then basically, once I said, they're still level 10. They got that great engage on the bottom, and they just pretty much kept that momentum swing the entire time. Look at the damage and healing. Rhaegar with actually no healing, pretty much. So yeah, Blaze up there at top damage. So congratulations to Some Like It Hots. I mean, the first game they got out team fighted. Second game they out macroed and out team fighted BTY. Third game they had one team fight and then just kept them dodging back and forth. So I mean, Some Like It Hots, congratulations on the win on the week 2. Hopefully your rest of your cheer league experience goes as well. I think both games were both very well, both very good. I don't remember who I called in that game. I don't think we did that. I don't think I did the whole guess who wins. Oh well. So, yeah, I mean, BTY also showed very strong. Showed very strong. I think they probably just need to work a little bit on their macro. Their team fighting was really good, in my opinion. Maybe a little bit of their drafting. I don't know about Zul'jin on that draft. I think the last draft probably worked out well too as well. But so my name's Snaginez. I do play on a cheer league team as well. We play Thursdays. We're called Team. I usually stream when my team is playing. Like if we're playing on our own, then like I'll just stream my side so you can hear our comms if you want. We are Division 3 because we're just playing with friends. We don't really practice. We don't really, we're not try-harding. So if you want to see that, I also stream every once in a while when we're just playing as a squad or just, team leaguing it or quick matching it. So if you want to join that, I'm also trying to cast a game at least once a week. Yeah, due to the schedules, how Cheer League changed now with Tuesdays and Thursdays, it's harder to really fit that into a schedule. So I can only do, and every game's a best of 3, which is fun. Like best of 3s are great because you get to see those kind of like specific bands, like on Sonya or on Ariel or something like that. And so that's always enjoyable. It's just harder for me to cast in like multiple times of the week. So, anyways, I hope you guys like the stream. Let me know in the chat if you want to keep chatting afterwards, and or let me know of any tips that you think would be better for my casting, maybe working on my obs, or because I know I missed a lot of kills there, trying to focus on the main team. Decisions on what I talk about, criticisms, or what I think of map strategies, if you think that's even worth it, if you think my strategies are bogus, you don't want to hear it, just talk about what's going on, let me know. Anyways, so hope you guys enjoyed it. See you guys next time.